Today we are taking a look at the BLE Alpha, a single-action striker-fired gas blowback pistol inspired heavily by the FNS-9 and made by ICS. The BLE, or Black Leopard Eye Alpha, takes its name from the similarities of the trigger and trigger guard to the eye of a black leopard. The Alpha was the first attempt at a gas blowback pistol for ICS, and despite that fact they definitely created a solid platform with a lot to offer. Even though the Alpha has now been superseded by the XAE, I thought it wise to review the Alpha as well to get a solid baseline on how ICS's original pistol platform performs and if the XAE is a marked improvement over the Alpha. It should be noted that I have been out to several games with this pistol before I recorded this review, hence all those nasty marks on the slide. Unfortunately, this is how most of my pistols end up from drawing and reholstering and general wear and tear in my aggressive playstyle, which means any gun I'm using is likely to be banged and bumped into and onto things. The BLE Alpha is available in the UK from Fire Support, which is where I picked this one up from. It is available in 4 different colourways: a solid black, a solid flat dark earth, a black slide with an FDE frame, or FDE slide with a black frame. At the time I bought this one, the solid colourways retailed for £99 and the two tones came in at £119. I was originally drawn to the version with the FDE frame and the black slide, which would match my M&P and now my XAE, but that extra £20 on the price tag steered me towards the completely FDE version, and that extra £20 I saved went immediately towards a spare magazine. If you have handled ICS guns in the past, you will know exactly what to expect from the Alpha. It is very robust and well made. It features a fibre reinforced nylon frame and the slide is CNC machined aluminium. Due to how much the finish has worn down on my Alpha, I don't believe it shares the same electrode deposited coating finish as the XAE, but instead is painted. The metal parts the Alpha features are the outer barrel, spring guide, takedown lever, iron sights and slide release. The 2-stage trigger is plastic, as is the magazine release. The frame has a rough texture to the plastic which aids with grip, as does the checkered stippling along the sides of the grip, which also feature an inset BLE logo. As is common with most polymer frame pistols, the front and back strap also have raised lines to aid with a good solid grip. The back strap is removable. As standard, the BLE comes with a slim one installed, but a much more aesthetically pleasing larger back strap comes in the box and can be installed very simply. All of the controls on the Alpha, aside from the takedown lever, are ambidextrous, making it great for both left and right-handed shooters. The Alpha has an interesting take on a safety device. On the left-hand side of the trigger is a push-through safety catch that effectively bars the trigger from being pulled when pushed through to the right-hand side. I can't say I'm a massive fan of this type of safety device, especially given the fact the Alpha features an M&P style 2-stage trigger, which, if the trigger is not squeezed correctly, the 2-stage safety device will not allow it to be pulled to the rear. The front end of the frame features a very standard looking accessory rail for the installation of flashlight lasers or other peripheral devices. In my experience, it does seem to be a little thinner to that of a Glock or an M&P. The slide has front and rear serrations to aid with grip retention whilst chambering around, and if you prefer to power stroke your pistol rather than using a slide release, you're in luck with the Alpha. The outer barrel, unlike the XAE version of the BLE, does not feature internal threads for an adapter, so the addition of muzzle devices to this pistol, at least without changing the outer barrel, is a no-go. To access the hop-up and the working parts, the procedure is very similar to that of an M&P. With the slide all the way to the rear, rotate the locking lever on the left hand front of the frame 90 degrees clockwise. The slide can then be removed from the front end of the frame. Inside you will find the hop-up dial, which you rotate rearwards for less hop and forwards for a little bit more. The iron sights on the Alpha are very simple in design and feature white highlighted dots. As the Alpha is only inspired by the FNS-9 and not technically a replica of the real firearm, there are no official or licensed trademarks. You will however find BLE and a leopard's head above the words Black Leopard Eye to the rear of the left hand side of the slide, and Alpha just underneath the serrations to the front. On the right hand side rear of the slide it says Made in Taiwan and Black Leopard Eye, just above a unique serial number. On top of the chamber are the fake caliber markings in 9mm. The 25 round magazine is almost entirely constructed of metal. The plastic parts are the feed lips, feeder and base plate. The gas inlet valve is located in the base of the magazine and is accessible through the base plate. These magazines are available as spare parts and will cost you around £25. Now we'll move on to the chrono and firing tests. For the chrono test, we'll be using green gas and 0.2 gram BBs fired through a Fire Dragon chronograph. On average, we are looking at 230 feet per second, but do bear in mind that this test was carried out in the British wintertime. The studio was quite cold, so in summertime or with a more powerful gas, you could expect that FPS to climb slightly. For the accuracy test, we will be firing at an A4 target at 30 meters. The alpha will be locked into a workbench. Again, we'll be firing with green gas, but this time using a more common skirmish weight of 0.25 gram BBs. Now we have seen the results from the control test, I will fire it unsupported offhand to give it a more real world accuracy test. As is always the case with my reviews, I like to experience the gun out in the field before I form my final opinion. This way I have a better understanding of the pros, the cons and performance of the gun. Here we see the Alpha in action at a CQB site called SOU Cooler. I was running it on Neutral 4.0 black gas with 0.25 gram BBs. You can see from that footage the gun performs very well. It fired every time I pulled the trigger without any issues and kept me one step ahead of the enemy in every engagement. My final views on the BLE Alpha. As with the XAE, ICS have done a fantastic job in creating an interesting and very competent gas blowback pistol. The BLE Alpha, despite being their first attempt at a pistol, hits the mark. It has all the features you would expect from a modern handgun and performs on par, if not better than other brands at the same price point. The only improvements I think ICS could make to the BLE series is adding the option to mount an RMR sight to the rear of the slide and making sure that front rail is to military spec. Other than that, as far as I'm concerned, this gun is very well built and quality wise, I'd put it on the same level as the Tokyo 100 Glocks and M&Ps. It has never failed me in a game and is great fun to fire, so in my opinion, you can't go wrong with the BLE series. If you found this review useful, hit that like button, and if you have any questions or thoughts about the Alpha pistol or the BLE series, leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more reviews, gameplay, vlogs and other airsoft misadventures. Thanks for watching, and the 2017 UK ICS Captain Magaz, and remember kids, the air may be soft, but our balls are hard.